Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching a game between Hans Moke Niemann, who was playing with white, and Levon Aronian, who was playing with black pieces. This game was played at Julius Baer Generation Cup in 2022. And what is interesting about this game is that Hans Moke Niemann completely dismantled Levon Aronian in Najdorf Sicilian. A great game if you want to learn about how to play against Najdorf Sicilian. If you ever face this sort of opening, shows you the main idea how you should plan against black's weaknesses in these sort of positions, and a truly wonderful tactical solution by Hans Moke Niemann, and a truly wonderful game I'm sure you will enjoy. If you do enjoy this game, please make sure to leave a like, comment and share the video, as it really helps me a lot. And now, as always, we will go straight into the game. So Hans Moke Niemann opened the game with e4, Levon replied with c5, we have knight f3 and d6. For now, this is a normal Sicilian defense. d4 was played for Hans Moke Niemann, c takes on d4, knight takes on d4, and knight f6 was played for Levon Aronian. This is open Sicilian. After knight c3, Levon plays a6, so we are now in Najdorf Sicilian. As Miguel Najdorf said, always in Sicilian defense you want to play a6, and why not play it immediately in the opening stage, then wait for like 10th or 14th move. So that's the idea behind this move. And right now Hans Moke Niemann plays this sort of weird move. It is not a mistake, but it's not the best move actually in these sort of positions, but it actually turned out that it was part of Hans Niemann's preparation. So usually what you play in these sort of positions are bishop e3, and with this you continue your development. There are a few more moves, but bishop e3 is the most famous one. Hans Moke Niemann decided to play a bishop d3. Why this makes not the perfect move is because you will block your d file and the protection of this knight. That is why Levon immediately striked with g6. So he wants to open this and fianchetto this bishop on g7. And now f3 by Hans Moke Niemann. Hans Moke wants to protect this pawn here and to structure it more in the center. So Aronian now continues with bishop g7, completely a fine move. And right now another looks like suspicious move by Hans Moke Niemann, losing the tempo with bishop e2, but that was the main problem with this sort of move, because right now this piece can become weak because it is caught by this bishop, and if this knight is removed, your piece will be attacked. But it all turned out to be a part of preparation by Hans Moke Niemann. So bishop e2 was played by Hans Moke Niemann, and knight b to d7 was played for Levon Aronian, continuing his normal development. Hans castles here, and b6 was played for Levon. Again, normal move in this sort of teams, in these Sicilians. Hans Niemann continues with bishop e3, and right now bishop b7, again a normal developing move. There is no smarter way for you to develop this bishop than to go on b7, which Levon did. Hans Moke continues with queen d2, which is a common move, and in these sort of positions, and especially in Sicilian themes where you have this fianchettoed bishop, the so-called fianchetto dragon, Sicilian dragon, and you want to put your bishop here, you want to exchange because this bishop is really strong. Levon continues with queen c7, and right now Hans Moke Niemann plays g4. For starters, this looks like kind of a weak move. I mean, not weak move in the terms that you're losing the game, but not the best option, since you can play this sort of play when your king. It's better to play when your king is located on the queen side and you've castled queen side than on the king side. But you can also play this sort of attack in the positions where you have your king on the king side, obviously. So this is not a mistake at all. Black is doing slightly better, and right now Levon plays a knight e5, which looks like a perfect place for this knight. But for now, this is not the best move. I will show you right now. So after this, actually the best play here was after g4, actually was h6 in order to, after rook a to d1, after this you can play this sort of move, because this this g5 threat will not be available anymore. So that is the reason why Levon Aronian a little bit hurried with this move, but of course this is not some fatal blunder. Of course the game will continue. Hans Moke Niemann continues with g5 attacking this knight, so you are now forced to return to d7, and right now Hans Moke Niemann wants to push f4, but before that he plays a really smart move, which is b3, preventing this knight of jumping here and really annoying your position and attacking your queen and your bishop. Here you would probably have to trade the bishops, because it would be really annoying for you to play with this knight hanging here. So that is the reason why this b3 move was played. And right now Levon already makes a slight weakness in the position with the move e6, and a reason for that is that in this sort of Sicilians, if you have a bishop on g7, if this bishop was for some reason on e7, that would be a fine move, because this pawn would be fine here, it would be protected. But right now you're opening yourself to all sorts of threats and attacks. This pawn becomes really weak, and this is a sort of thematic for white to attack on your weakness here on your pawn, especially on your queen here, which will see really soon how this happened in the game. An amazing attack by Hans Moke Niemann, the best for black in this position. So after e6, instead of e6, maybe black should have played rook to c8, right now attacking this knight, and after knight goes on d5, you can simply move your queen back, and after moves like c4, right now it's completely fine to play e6 to push away this knight, and after h6, right now you have a really nice position here as black, because right now you're preparing a trick. If white decides to pick up this pawn, it looks like this pawn is for free, but actually it is not, because we have queen h4, and you cannot pick up this bishop, of course, because we have a checkmate. So after queen h4, if you decide to play so after queen h4, if you decide to play something normal like rook f2, for example, to protect this bishop, we can now pick up this pawn, and after bishop picking up, queen picking up, queen exchange, and rook picking up on h6, this is a slightly better position for black, so this is completely playable, and this is the way or the plan you should aim in these sort of positions. Of course, Levon didn't do that, as we saw, and he played e6 immediately, and right now Hans Moke Niemann continues with f4, which was his original idea with playing b3, and right now this knight is forced to go back. Of course, Levon finds a counter attack, which is not good at all, but one of the way you can play this position. There is no way of preventing what is going to happen right now on the chessboard. So Levon plays rook c8, and Levon's idea is to pick up this knight if you pick up his knight, but of course this is actually not a good solution, because Hans Moke Niemann finds an amazing tactical attack and a tactical sacrifice. As we told, this pawn is really weak, and this move is simply just showing up on the board with knight d to b5. Right now this queen is under attack, this pawn is weak, and you just have to make a decision. It's better to pick up this knight, then you will have, at least you will have this knight for this trade here. So Levon picks up this knight, and after knight picking up on b5, right now this queen is under attack, this pawn is weak, and Levon decided to play queen c2 here. But even after f4, I will just go back, please. I just need to show you something. So after f4, just wanted to show you that even if you don't want to play rook c8, even after knight c6, white has the same idea here, so you are not stopping anything. Now knight d to b5 again, after a takes on b5, knight picks up on b5, and after you move your queen to b8, knight picks up on d6 with a check, king f8, and rook a to d1. White's initiative is too strong, and black is worse here, much worse actually. So it's going to be hard to play here as black, and especially playing as a human. Of course, computer gives only 1 point for white, but we are not computers, we are humans, and to us these positions are really hard to play. You just don't want to be in these sort of positions. So knight c6 wasn't solving anything. as I showed you. So after knight picking up on b5, queen picks up on c2, and right now Hans Moke Niemann of course doesn't want to trade the queens, but firstly he picks up this pawn with a check, and after king goes on e7, Hans Moke Niemann finds another amazing move, which is f picking up on e5, and our game continued with knight picking up on e5. If you wonder what would happen after f takes on e5, what will happen if you pick up this queen, then white would not immediately take your queen, but he would first have an intermediate move with rook takes on f7 check. Then after king d8 you have bishop picking up this queen, and this bishop is hanging, this bishop is hanging, this knight is weak, this rook is already infiltrated the 7th rank, and this game is pretty much over for you as black. So that is the reason why after knight picking up on e5, now there is no more this threat, and now you can only pick up this, or you can pick up the queen. Obviously you don't want to give up queen right now since you are in a full attack mode, and that is the reason why Hans Moke Niemann played a queen before here. Right now pinning this king and threatening these covered checks, and of course leaving this bishop free for Levon Aronian, which Levon Aronian did. And after this move, Hans Moke Niemann finishes with beautiful knight f5 check, a discovered check, and Levon resigned this game because there is nothing you can do. This game is over. If you go to d8, then we have knight queen e7 checkmate. If after knight f5 you decide to go on e8, then we have queen e7 checkmate, and if you go on d7, then after queen d6 check, king e8, we have knight e7 check, but we have even prettier checkmate with knight picking up on g7, and just a beautiful chess miniature and a chess masterpiece by Hans Moke Niemann, and just shows you the ways you can punish your opponents if they play this sort of positions and this sort of Sicilians with this pawn structure. So you always want to aim putting this knight on b5. That is the reason why Najdorf Sicilian a6 and b5 is very frequently played, because you just don't want to allow this sort of threats. They are really annoying, and they just completely kill your position if you allow it, as you saw from the game. And this was all I prepared for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and share the video. As you know, it really helps me. And of course, please make sure to leave your comments and your suggestions in the comments below. I always read your comments, and if you have some other games you would like me to check out, I will definitely look them out. And for everything else, just let me know. I really appreciate you watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.